Happy Friday from Tom and Adam. Now, before we get into it, Adam isn't feeling the full ticket today.
I'm feeling grand. Stop making things up, Tom. I'm feeling tip-top condition. Let's do the news. Come on, I can't wait.
I admire your gusto. We'll heavy lift it. It'll be fine. We'll get through it together, then you can go and have a little sleep, okay?
Essentially,
Promise?
If I can't open my mouth properly, I bit my tongue, it's gone all horrible. And so if I don't look my best, if I don't sound my best, then I apologise.
You sound sexy as always. Here is your wrestling news. Following Wednesday's releases, we've got a leaked text message from John Laurinaitis. A released WWE star from this week is teasing a gimmick change. And a huge return looks to be planned for SummerSlam. We'll get to it in a bit. It's another tough week to be a wrestling fan. More releases from within WWE, and nobody is safe, it seems. People from the very bottom of the business to the very top of the tree seem to be affected by this. Last night, a text message sent out by John Laurinaitis to the entire roster ended up getting leaked. What did that text say, Adam?
Strap yourself in. The text simply read, due to budget cuts, the following talent were released today. Braun Strowman, Lana, Buddy Murphy, Santana Garrett, Ruby Riott, and Aleister Black. John Laurinaitis. That's your lot. So basically, the talent found out in the same way that we found out on WWE.com or any of those ways, but without the "we wish them best in the future endeavours" thing. It's so blunt, it's so to the point. It's just saying, yeah, sorry, when you turn up for work on Friday night, half of your colleagues and mates aren't going to be there. Sorry about that. It's just so it's not very human, is it?
No, it is incredibly brief and incredibly cold. The text message that was sent out to everybody, because these are people's friends, as you say, that they've worked with for a long, long time, and a text like this out of the blue isn't a nice one to see. And apparently this won't be the last time that we get stuff like this. So Andrew Zarian from the Mat Men podcast, who's been on the money with quite a few things over the past few months, said this on the show yesterday. I was told specifically that there's going to be more releases to come. This is going to be a regular thing. You're going to see these releases happen as they are reshuffling the deck with talent. They're realizing that the company got very bloated with talent over the last 2 to 3 years, where WWE doesn't release anybody and they hang on to people. And then he cites Gallows and Anderson as an example of that, how they threw ridiculous money at guys like them to pay them to sit at home. And they're finally treating what was a big problem that you and I, when back in the day we could sit together, that you and I talked about, you know? It was something that the issue was that they were just hiring so many people and they were bloating out their rosters so much that something had to give, and they're now sorting it, but it hurts, man.
Well, that's the thing. They've created this problem for themselves. The people that I feel sorry for are the talent, right? Because now you're essentially working with the sort of Damocles dangling over you, right? If Braun Strowman can get released, anyone can get released. But it just can't be a very fun place to work. I mean, it's got to be pretty dreadful for morale, for the releases to happen. And now seemingly they're going to be happening not just on a yearly basis, but at any given time we might just hear that, hey, this person's gone, that person's gone. I understand why they did it on a yearly basis, for the most part anyway. Not just for the financial reasons and the timing of it and the tax reasons, but also it's sort of limiting the amount of bad PR they're gonna get, right? If you do it all on one day, at least that'll be forgotten about in the not too distant future, or largely forgotten about in the not too distant future. Whereas if they're sprinkling these in on on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, who knows? It's just gonna be a constant stream of bad PR for a company that really, really doesn't need that right now. Because, fan sentiment toward WWE, I can't remember it being this low. Wrestling fans will always whinge about the product, always. But, man, people are super down on the company right now, and understandably so.
Ruby Riott was one of those names that was let go on Wednesday, and there's been so much love for her from people that she worked with. So many stories about how wonderful a colleague she was. and she went silent when the releases came out. She broke her silence on Instagram, saying, "Yesterday, in a matter of minutes, my life changed very drastically. After some tears, some panic, and a full box of Oreos, I was able to look back at how lucky I've been to accomplish what I have." She goes on to say that she was honoured to be part of a squad of the most incredible women she's ever met, gotten to see the world and share locker rooms with some of the most talented women that she knows. She's been overwhelmed by the calls, the texts, and the tweets, and the support from co-workers, friends, family, and fans. As for what's next, she says, "In the beginning, Heidi Lovelace was given to me. At the end, Ruby Riott was taken away. So I don't know what I'll be called or where I'll end up, but please know this is far from over. Thank you." I believe this is a little hint that Ruby Riott / Heidi Lovelace may be about to reinvent herself. She became very much loved in Chikara as Heidi Lovelace, and then on the indies from there. And Ruby Riott, obviously a name that she won't be able to use again, so it looks like she's going for something completely different.
It certainly sounds like it, doesn't it? I can't wait to see what she does next. I think she's so talented, and what a lovely message as well. You know, like that's the way to do it. Obviously, it sucks that she's been released and everything, but she's come out there. She's been pretty positive about the whole thing. She's celebrated what she has accomplished. I think that that takes a bit of guts, and I really respect her for that. It's worth noting as well that she did get loads and loads of support and praise, and one of those was The Rock, who responded, "You will resurface stronger, wiser, and better. Thank you for the awesome birthday vid." Bless him. Do a tag team.
Oh, if The Rock's in your corner, you're gonna be fine.
The Rock and Riott squad.
Brilliant.
Yeah, let's do it. And finally, we've got news of a huge return that is planned for SummerSlam. This is once again from Andrew Zarian on the Mat Men Pro Wrestling podcast, talking about plans for SummerSlam. And this is a big one. Talking about the part-time names, you can expect to see some big part-time names brought in for the show. Apparently the current plan is John Cena. He's in talks with WWE, coming in to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. There is a money match, goodness gracious me. And the other one, because his name was mentioned on Raw, this may not come as too much of a surprise, but Brock Lesnar heading back. He was obviously mentioned on Raw, as I say. There's talk of him wrestling at SummerSlam. And he said Lesnar was early on for SummerSlam plans. They were trying to do something. I think the concept behind Lesnar is to justify what we're going to pay him, and we need a more consistent touring schedule so we can build to this, and those appearances by Lesnar will help sell tickets. Obviously, it's believed that the current plan is to do something with him and Bobby Lashley, which, you know what, a couple of years ago, I wasn't that fussed on, just because of Bobby Lashley's position on the card and the way that he'd been booked. Now, Bobby Lashley is one of the few good things about Raw, and him versus Lesnar. And man, those matches, right? That's the biggest party of the summer. You got Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Roman Reigns. Those are two WrestleMania worthy main events there. That's a double main eventer, and I really, really do want to see that.
Big beefy boys battering each other in Vegas. That's a nice way to spend a summer. I like that a lot. More news later. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.